Hi my lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you are having a lovely weekend so far, and welcome back to another Sunday morning chatty money catch up. So if you're new here, my name is Sharon. I am 62 and a half years old, and just over 2.5 years ago, no, almost 2.5 years ago, I had a change in circumstance. It was purely my own choice to leave the home that I was living in at that time and move into a rented property on my own. So yeah, this is really just me chatting about budgeting, all things money, food shopping, some recipes thrown in along the way, and some shopping hauls as well. So if you're interested in that kind of content, then I am super happy to have you join me over here. So things to talk about today. I've got some notes written down so that I don't forget anything, and I want to kind of keep it as short if I can, under 30 minutes, because you all know that I do talk a lot. And there were a couple of things on last Sunday's video that, because I wanted to keep it around the half an hour mark, that I didn't include, that I did want to talk about. So a couple of those things, and then some updates from this week as well there. So firstly, let's talk about state pension forecast, because I'd mentioned that last week, and one of you lovely followers, Shelley, said in her comment that you can get a BR19 form which can be printed off and posted to find out your state pension forecast. So if you're having problems like I had, which I mentioned last week, I thought I had all the correct login details for the government gateway. I've not been on there for a long time, but I used the details that I found that I had for my login. Somehow or other, they didn't work. I had to upload a picture of my passport, which I then did, and it asked me loads of questions. When did you last open a bank account? When did you last take out a mobile phone contract? Loads of things like that. And at the end, it said, we don't recognise you. So I couldn't get any further with it. And I know that a few of you said, you know, get Citizens Advice to help with that, which of course you can do. But I just thought it was really interesting that Shelley said you can get a BR, Bravo, Romeo 19 form, which can be printed off and posted. So if you're in the same position as me, or you haven't got a government gateway account as yet, you can always do it that way. So I'm assuming I'm just going to go onto Google or the government website, whatever, and type in BR19 and see what comes up, and get one of my kids to print that off for me when they are back from their holidays, because all my 3 girls are away together. My son is away with his girlfriend. They were all in the same place, but they've only crossed over by a day. My son is actually travelling back today. So once the girls are home, I will get one of them to do it for me. Okay, so that's that one. We can cross that off of the list. Sinking funds, again, another kind of update to those, in as much as I was talking to my friend Sharon, as I always do. We used to always talk about clothes, shopping, handbags. Now all we talk about is money and budgeting. It's quite funny how the tables have turned since we both started our YouTube channels. We've always been very interested in this subject, but yeah, it's definitely the thing we talk about most now. I suppose we haven't got the money that we once had to spend on the things we used to like to spend the money on. That's probably what it's all about. And we were talking about travel, her and I, the other day, and I said to her, do you know what? That is a sinking fund that I don't have. I don't spend a lot on public transport, but I do spend money on it. and I don't have a fund for that. So, for example, whenever I go for my hair appointment, I have to get the train, which cost me around £6. And then last Sunday, it was one of my granddaughter's birthdays. So I went over there to see her in the afternoon, and I paid £5.30 for a train ticket. So whenever I do that, I'm taking money all the time out of other sinking funds, which you guys already know that I do that when I go over on my shopping budget. Whatever I go over on, the money comes from a different sinking fund. So it's like you're robbing Peter to pay Paul all the time. So in addition to last week's thoughts about, I really need an emergency fund, I really need some savings behind me, you know, as I look towards pension age coming in 5 years, making that decision that, like, let's try to retire at 65 if that's possible. It wouldn't be at the moment, but obviously now I've got this channel which has become monetized. Who knows what the future holds? And if I can, you know, save some money from doing this, then that is truly amazing. That is something I never dreamed would happen. But if it does happen, let's utilise that money. I've always said that I wanted to give something back in the way of donations to charity. Of course, you need to put some money away for tax as well. But yeah, with the remainder, you know, that could be where my savings come from. That could be how that all starts, because as I said last week, I have no savings and I have no emergency fund, which got me thinking about jiggling around the sinking funds a little bit. So I think we need a travel sinking fund, even if there's only a small amount going into it each month. Which it would be anyway, because I'd have to take the money from, you know, one other sinking fund would have to have less going in it. So I would probably do £10 a month for that. So yeah, that's something that I am taking into consideration. And then back onto the sinking fund subject. Somebody said to me, more important to have savings in an emergency fund, sinking fund, than it is to have one for holiday, which of course I in principle do agree with. However, I've always had a holiday sinking fund. I make no secret of the fact that I enjoy a holiday. For me, I feel it's the only time I really, really wind down and relax. It's the only time I ever read a book. I just don't think it, you know, it's me personally. Everybody feels differently. You know, some people are looking to create a life they don't wish to take a holiday from, you know, and I totally get that. We are all so different. But for me, even if I have time off and I'm at home during that time, you're always still doing things. You're always still pottering around. Even if you factor in a couple of hours for relaxation or catching up on YouTube, whatever, to me, it's just not the same as being away. And I've always loved a holiday. I love to travel. And I have mentioned many times over here that I was talking to one of my friends who lives abroad about possibly going out for a visit. And in the comment that I got on my video last week, I said, yeah, maybe after my next trip, because what I hadn't mentioned last week was the fact that I did book flights. Now, what I've done, because if you're going to do something, or I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it the cheapest way possible. So I looked at flights to fly to the destination that my friend actually lives in, and I thought they were pretty expensive for the time that I've got off on annual leave this year. And then I began to look around at different airports within the vicinity. And what I've ended up doing is I'm flying into a completely different destination for £48.99 return and getting a ferry to where my friend lives, which is less than €20, because they do that trip quite often, so they know all about it. So that is the plan. So the budget friendly trip is on. And as I say, I just ran out of time really, and it was one of the things that I wanted to mention last week and thought, well, I can carry it over to this week. So flights have been booked at an amazing price, so I'm so happy with that. And I have been to stay with my friend before, really didn't spend a lot of money at all, and had the most fantastic holiday, because it's not about spending money, it's about relaxation in the sunshine with my friends, and that, yeah, that means an awful lot to me. So yeah, so flights are booked, so fingers crossed everything goes okay, because the only thing we have to think about is my friend's dad. His health has not been the greatest over the last sort of year, 18 months really. And just, you know, if anything were to happen to him and they needed to be here, then of course the whole thing would have to be rethought. However, if I lost £48.99 because I couldn't go away, like, that is not the end of the world to me. But if I'm spending nearly £200 on a flight that I can't then go on a holiday and use that flight, that's a whole different story. None of us want to lose any money, but I have to accept that is a distinct possibility. And I was willing to take that risk. But hopefully it will all come off, and I'll get some lovely time with my friend. So that was that. So the flights are booked. What else has happened this week? Food shopping. I am on my final food shopping experiment. And this month you will see in Wednesday's video, I am using cash for the first time. So no Sainsbury's gift card, no money put into a separate account for the food shop. We are using cash. So I've withdrawn the money. I've already done 3 shops in the first week after payday. I've been to Sainsbury's twice and Aldi's once, but the freezer is overflowing. We've got some fabulous yellow sticker bargains coming up on Wednesday, guys. So make sure, if you love to see what I've bought at the supermarket, that you tune in for that one, because I am so chuffed. And the kitchen freezer and the small one in the garage are full to the brim. So it should hopefully just be fresh stuff like milk and potatoes that I need to buy going forward. Oh dear, I'm going to need tea bags next week. I just remembered. But anyway, that's the final experiment. And then I'm going to make a decision as to what I'm going to do each month going forward, because I'd stuck to doing the same thing for 2 years. In January, I changed it up, and I've changed it up twice more since then. So this is my final experiment, and then I will make my decision as to how I am going to do my food shopping going forward, whether that's back to the Sainsbury's gift card or whatever. We shall see. So there you have it. Next thing, had a really bad experience with River Island. So I'd said to my eldest daughter, because it was my granddaughter's birthday, what would she like for her birthday? She said, get her a pair of sandals. So I looked all around and I came across a pair on River Island, which I really liked, and they were quite neutral, very pretty with butterflies on them. I thought, oh, they're lovely, but they will go with all of her holiday outfits. So I ordered them, and standard delivery was before Friday, the 16th of May. Her birthday was Sunday, the 18th. So I promptly ordered them with standard delivery and paid for the standard delivery. And I think the total was £26, I think, or 23. I should have written it on my list. I'm so sorry, but one of those 2 figures. I will check it. You'll hear about it on my month-end roundup. And then on the Thursday, the 15th, the courier had them, and then that that never changed. They were stuck with the courier. There never came a notification about them being out for delivery. I started to really panic. Come Saturday, still no update. I messaged my daughter. I said, what am I going to do? I'm coming to you tomorrow. No, Friday night, I must have spoken to her about it. She said, we've got a Next account. Choose a pair. I'll order them. They'll be here tomorrow. I was still scared they wouldn't come, but that's what happened. So she ordered me a pair of sandals for her from Next, and they arrived on Saturday evening. Then when I got the train over on Sunday, my daughter picked me up from the train station without the girls, and I was able to get them out of the packet. She hadn't even opened it, and they were then put in a gift bag. And that was it. I gave her some sandals for her birthday, which was what she wanted, but sadly not the ones I had, originally chosen. But at least she had a birthday present, because this is Friday, a week later than they should have arrived. Still no update at all with Every. I'm on a late shift tonight, hence me doing the video now. And I phoned River Island this morning, and they have agreed to give me a refund. They were very apologetic, and I really had a lovely customer service experience speaking to their contact centre. So very pleased with that. Let's hope everything he said to me does actually happen, and I get my money back, because now I owe that money to my daughter for the sandals she ordered for me. So yeah, River Island, really upsetting, really annoying. It's one of those things. It's not River Island's fault, it's Every's. It makes you angry, but you can't take it out on anybody, can you? Just upsetting. So yeah, that's that. Vinted, I've bought 3 dresses. It's been quite a spenny month, really. And I think I said to you guys before that the money I tend to buy clothes with is money from sales that I've made on Vinted. And I think back in March, if you were with me then, I'd sold 2 jackets. One was Another Story, so I got quite a bit for that. I made £55 for the sale of 2 jackets, and all I'd bought was a leopard print t-shirt for £2.25. So I had a bit of money left. And I've mentioned about putting on weight, and none of my dresses fitting me anymore. So yeah, ordered 3 new dresses. And strangely, you will see when it comes that one of the dresses I've bought is a dress that I sold in 2023. I think I'd bought it in 2022. It was a floral monsoon linen dress. I bought it in 2022, but it was always a bit big. So I ordered the same size I used to have, because I thought, well, I've put on a bit of weight, so that should fit me now. So I've got the same dress back at less than I sold it for. So yeah, so we've got 3 dresses coming. Summer's coming, and obviously if I am going on holiday, I need clothes that fit me. I need summer clothes. I love summer clothes. I hate winter clothes. No interest in buying them at all. As long as you've got a few decent coats, it's the winter, it just feels like a uniform. But summer, I love different types of dresses. I'm always in a dress come summer, and I enjoy wearing that kind of thing. So yeah, we've ordered 3 and we have spent £34. So I've still got a little bit of the Vinted money left, but let's hope they do all fit, and I'm pleased with them when they come. First one should be today. And then the final thing to touch on, we're on 18 minutes. I'm doing quite well. Hope I don't sound as if I'm talking too quickly. The last thing I wanted to touch on this video is monetisation of this channel on YouTube. Because I'm learning things all of the time. All of the steps that I needed to take with AdSense have now been taken. But what I have learnt from Ali over at Ali Lives Well on Less, I think because I'd mentioned on one of my videos it does say in YouTube Studio, your estimated earnings. And I had mentioned what they were. And I think Ali commented and said to me, what you're estimated can be completely different to what you're paid. So for example, today, YouTube Studio says my estimated revenue is £101. My AdSense account says £13.60 still. It hasn't changed. So come the end of May, we will see. I'm not holding my breath as to what I will get, but you know I will keep you updated with the exact amount, and I will let you know. I will do that 15% in some way, shape or form to a charity or a food bank shop or whatever. And we'll take it from there. So yes, apparently the estimate can be completely different to what you earn. But I mean, even if it's a guideline and it's something near that amount, you know, I will be so chuffed, because this could be for me the savings pots that I need to go forward, and you know, possibly think about retiring at 65 rather than 67. Who knows? We shall see how it goes. But you know, guys, I will keep you updated. So I'm going to leave it there. 21 minutes. I'm really happy with that, because I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 subjects I've covered there. So I'm really pleased with that. So you'll see me on Wednesday with all my yellow sticker bargains. And also I have been trying to remember to film or photograph my dinners as well this week. So hopefully you'll get to see what I've eaten over the past week, and all my yellow sticker bargains on Wednesday. So thank you so much for joining me, guys. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. It means the absolute world to me that you are tuning in and listening to my drivel. I do appreciate it. Take good care. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and have a lovely bank holiday Monday as well, whatever you're doing. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.